let's bring out Overstat. You're going to love this one. Did you order this?
All right, thanks, Jason. Less than 1% of the internet is currently testing and optimizing their web pages. But the numbers show that pages that are tested and optimized perform better than pages that aren't. So why isn't everybody testing their pages? I suppose some people just don't care. But for the rest of us, it's the time, cost, and sheer complexity of the task. So Overstat solves all of this. I'm going to show you how in 2 minutes we can test a web page. Here we have a random website. Maybe it's not that random. You can see Overstat running on top of the website as an overlay. Next, we built the world's most sophisticated user interface to help understand and visualize visitor behavior. Heatmap is a simple but clear example of overlay data. A moment ago, we knew that 200,000 people had come to this web page, but we didn't know where they were going, where they were clicking, what they were interested in. And now we're beginning to get a clear picture of what they are interested in. The top links is another feature built to be intuitive. These orange pins are placed onto the most clicked links on the page. As you can see, they're fully interactive. As you roll over the pins, it highlights the underlying HTML. You can drill down into the data with info panels and arrange it on the page. We consider this to be the birth of the category of on-page analytics, where a full and robust application is running directly on top of the web page. So coming back to our example, this page does a lot of things, but one of the most important things it does is it registers new visitors. So there's an orange button in the upper right-hand corner, and there's an orange button in the lower left-hand corner that allows visitors to click on it and register. So let's look at the data. We can see here that the button in the lower left-hand corner is not getting a lot of traffic. So let's create a test and see if we can get more people to click there. So we'll start by going into our testing suite, and we'll create a clone of this page, an exact duplicate of this page. And after we do that, we'll edit the page. So the original page is highlighted here in green and creating a duplicate. See if we're connected to the network. Did you verify that we are on the network?
Yeah, I think we did.
So we create an exact duplicate of this page, and then we edit this page. As you can see, the original page and our new variation are identical, and we're able to move around this page, highlighting any area that we want. In yellow, we can select single objects or groups of objects or the entire page if we want. So what we'll do here is we'll select this paragraph, and we'll just do a little text change. We'll highlight some text, we'll make it bold, we'll make it red. See how that looks on the page. You'll see it's updated in real time, and it's placed the blue push pin over our new test zone, which again is fully interactive, so we can move around the page and create as many of these test zones as we'd like. So let's create this. Let's change the center graphic on this and see if we can get more people to click on this button. So we'll replace that. Our image editor opens. This is a very robust image editor. It's like a Photoshop running directly on top of the page. And I think that's a pretty good creative there. And clicking on A, we'll see our original page. And then clicking on our new variant, we can see our new creative. So the next step is to send some traffic to this page, which again is very easy. And as soon as traffic starts to flow to this page, Overstat will calculate in real time the results of this. There's a lot of metrics, including bounce rate and the number of pages per session, but let's come full circle to our heat map at the beginning. So looking at the heat map, this is our original page. Up at the top, we have a tab for our variant. Let's click on that. And looks like our new creative has actually gotten more people to click on this button. So before we go to our next feature and show definitively if that actually got more people to click, how many people like our new version better than the original? Come on now. Okay, let's view it. So there, down by the button, you see progress bars that show each of the results of our variants, and it shows that 10% more people actually click on that link as a result of that creative. So that's it, folks. In 2 minutes, we showed you how to test a web page and determine that it's better. At Overstat, we believe that every page that matters should be tested. We provide the tools to do it. We're looking for some top-notch customers and some investors to help us grow. Thank you.
Okay, Mike Jones, big redesign of MySpace, and I hear engagement went way up because of it. True? Yeah. What do you think of on-page multivariant testing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge believer in multivariant testing. I love optimization. I think anything that makes it faster and easier is a big need. I'm curious how this technically works and just how you get it implemented onto a website. I think the other challenge is that you have more and more sites that post-login, they kind of have dynamic navigation elements, and that becomes kind of a unique challenge so that, if I'm seeing one navigation set and someone else is seeing another navigation set because of the way our account's set up on a site, that often kind of throws a monkey wrench into A/B testing. But overall, listen, if you can make this process easier, I think it's a really, really big deal.
Great. So I guess there's a question or two in there for sure. Implementation, we believe in a zero programming model. So a lot of the current tools require you to instrument the page and open them up and do a lot. And so we just have a single code snippet that you put on every page that's the same, and it's smart enough to understand the composition of the page.
So I'm assuming it's just JavaScript that we're pasting in, and I understand that probably the broader market is definitely the just drop in and appeal to the non-programmer thing. But I'll be honest, I'm still looking for something that appeals to a little bit hardcore programmer to solve some of the more complicated problems like Mike is mentioning, because when you are dealing with, for us, like the A/B testing that we'd like to do is not just change this text or change this color, but how do we rearrange this page and make two very different versions, test against each other. And I think that there's an unserved market that's a little bit more of a hardcore, we'd like to dig deep and have analytics and have more control over that, because right now we're having to build all this in-house for ourselves, because drop-in code just doesn't give us the power that we'd like it to have.
Right. Well, one of the features that didn't really touch on too much here is the fact that even though you might have two radically different pages, they're trying to accomplish the same thing. So the calls to action on each of those pages might be the same. Download a white paper or register. And so no matter where they appear on the page, it's the same goal. And so you're able to normalize across different variants, even if they're wildly different, to see did this variant versus this variant get more people to register, even if the box is up here or down here, or 5 fields or 4.
I'm very interested. We would love to talk to you at SurveyMonkey. I think it's that we've been actually looking for new testing platforms, both for A/B testing as well as for site tracking. We use Omniture right now, and anyone from Omniture's listening, we're very unhappy with Omniture, so I'm sure I'll get a phone call. So we're interested. I think the question is, and it sort of goes to Josh's point too, it's sort of you guys, it seems like you're going to have to decide which way you want to go. Like, do you want to go serve like the SurveyMonkeys and MySpaces and Gowalas, which are requirements? I mean, I need kind of not just page testing, but I need flow testing through multiple flows. I need integration to my database to be able to see. I mean, I need a whole bunch of very specific sort of high-end features. Or is it just simple page testing, which is interesting, but is probably a slightly different audience? And those are probably two different products. And which way do you want to go?
Right. So the answer is in the middle. We started out with a bit of a hypothesis that the big tools, the core metrics, the Omnitures, Adobes, work very well across multiple channels and are deeply embedded in a lot of the most successful websites, but that there are holes in the workflow. And we've since proven that out and are talking to the largest companies really in the valley about this. And so the use of Overstat, even though it's the same product, may be different. And so some people see it as a lightweight prototyping tool to be able to quickly test concepts and see if it works before they push it into the big machinery. We do click flow analysis, and we have conversion funnels. And in 2.0, we have conversion funnels, A/B, so you can test all along those paths. But again, I think that it's staying in the middle of the testing and optimization of these pages, and not necessarily replacing the Omnichars of the world.
How will you make money?
How will we make money? It's a freemium model. So we believe that we bring a lot of value very quickly. So it's an extremely short trial, and then it goes from medium businesses up.
I mean, one of the challenges, in addition to sort of do you go for the sort of basic audience or like the biggest sites on there? So in addition to that, I mean, have you thought about making it or trying to make it a little bit more focused? Because I mean, one of the challenges we have with these analytics tools, because Dropbox, we want to learn as much as we can, is they really, there's just a lot of stuff and a lot of like UI and stuff and sort of things you have to figure out as a developer, which forces you to subscribe to this very kind of specific view of how you have to analyze your site, which maybe not all sites fit into. And I saw in the right-click menu, there's like all this SEO stuff and other things like that. If you want a really broad base, maybe pick one subset, or broad user base, like pick one simple thing that people want to do, kind of like Kissmetrics approach, and just really drill into that, and then, acquire a bunch of users that way, and then maybe upsell them into something more complicated later.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just to build on that, because I think you said you want to be in the middle.
The fat middle, if it's a bell curve.
Okay. Yeah, to me that's just a very dangerous place to be. Typically, that requires a lot of capital, and it's a lot of restarting. It's a tough sales pitch actually, versus winning over a group of people, really be the man there, dominate, get people to love you. I just think that's you just want to be careful of the middle zone. Mm-hmm. It's very, very, very scary, because you're gonna get long sales cycles. Lots of people say yes, 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 and say no, and it's just
And the really biggest sites on the internet have already are doing something else, or have the resources to throw engineers at this. So there's unfortunately a ceiling that you can hit with something off the shelf.
And I think there's just an engineering base too, that my guys are going to get nervous of, we're going to add another JavaScript snippet to to the page, and that's just one more place where you're sitting going, when something breaks, what is it? And so I think there's good advice.
Awesome. Let's hear it for Overstat. Well done.